Who is this new Jess, right? I've heard there can be some therapeutic relaxation that comes from cleaning. I love cleaning. That's the thing. Like, I hate that my joints are bad because my house would be spick and span cleaning. I actually do go to therapy. Well, you should probably change your therapist or talk more about your feelings because you're giving incel behavior. We don't allow that around here, so you should leave. Or I'm just going to block you. You probably smell really bad. If that happened to me, I'd be like, did I disturb ancient tomb? Right? I know it sounds woo woo, but I'll entertain the woo woo. I'll put one foot in the woo woo and keep one foot in the real world, right? And it's not that I like fully believe it, but I'll entertain it, right? But literally, like the horseflies just like randomly stopped, and I was like, what in the fuck was that all about? I've never experienced horsefly. Like, granted, I live near horse. There's horses all around me. There's cow farms around me. I live like next to a goat farm. So I'm like, I'm surprised I've never seen horseflies. But then they started coming in and like they would just linger around and then they would just die. I would just see them on the floor dead. I'm like, what the fuck? I'd wake up every morning. There would be like 3 dead horseflies every morning for like a week. And I was like, what the hell is this? And the houseflies had completely stopped at that point, right? So I was even more confused. I was like, my house is clean. What the fuck is going on? Like, it's not like they're laying eggs or anything. They just fly around for like a few minutes and then they just keel over and die. Beyond me, okay? I don't have any explanation for it. But at this point, I see it as more of like, in a woo woo way, spiritual. But I haven't seen any flies since. And I've been kind of testing it because, like, I'll keep the chicken bones on the counter in that bag for like, a little longer than I should, maybe like 5, 6 days. No bugs. None. And usually there's more bugs right about now because it's really warm still here in Arizona. Like the weather's not cooling down or anything. So usually there's more bugs because they've got the mosquito hawk eater things like the mosquito eaters. We've got the horse flies. We've got the regular house flies. The gnats. Like usually they're really active during the summer, early summer, and then closer into this time. And so that's where I'm like so confused, like what the hell has shifted? But what I can say is it's the inner stagnation has shifted. That's what's shifted is the executive's dysfunction with the EFT tapping. That's what shifted everything. And so that's where it's like the inner stagnation, which including my hip, like when you're bedridden, right? So for me, it's because my hips and they've been immobile. So when they're so swollen, they're immobile. I don't have a fly problem. It's because you're not a very clean person, from what I'm hearing. You just sound like an asshole. You literally don't know anything about me. This is why I think you should maybe book more therapy appointments. The fact that you're trying to be mean to me, you don't even know me, and I know you're a guy, and you're doing this to women. You're not okay. I don't have to ask if you're okay. You're not okay. Okay. Um, I just explained everything, so it doesn't take anyone with a big brain to understand this. You don't have to be a tidy person for this to be happening, especially when you live near farms and stuff. And I have 4 dogs who poop in the yard, so there's things that happen that attract them, but it's not very typical for them to be in my home. But this year, it was a little different. But anyway, you're going away. I hope that you do get some help, though. It doesn't sound like your therapy is going well at all. I think you should maybe find a new therapist. Um, because I guarantee you, I'm not the only person you treat like this. It sounds like you had a rough Friday. Maybe you had diarrhea or something. I hope you get better. But this isn't the way you treat people. Okay? I shouldn't have to explain it to you like I'm your mother. Maybe that's where the root issue is. Your mother. Go talk to her, honey, okay? Sorry you're having a bad day. Bye! Suck on my dick! 3 messages? Does that mean this person has sent me a message? Account created 14 minutes ago. Oh, okay, because it's a fucking fake ass account. I've heard there can be therapy. If that happened, I bet they have main character energy. The flies or this idiot person that I just blocked. Um, but that's where like, oh, they had troll, right? They had, and you know what I guarantee it is? I guarantee it's someone from my Instagram because I said, hey, come visit me from Twitch, blah blah. I got to go through and reblock all those trolls that were help boosting my eviction thing. So I guarantee you it's one of them. But let's hope they get some help. But anyway, so that's like something I noticed that like, every kind of nuisance has stopped. And I'm a chat GPT person, okay? I don't see them as a best friend or anything, but it's something or whatever you want to say. It's something that I can talk to where I make these connections that, it seems a little crazy and I need someone open minded to hear it, someone, something, whatever you want to call it. And I need just unbiasedness. What do you think of this connection? I've noticed these things. Like, what do you think of this connection? So, this is something the lamo you blocked who can now watch but not type. Whatever. As long as they're not able to comment, I don't care. They probably have a small wiener. Probably can't get hard. That sucks. Don't do drugs, kids. Anyway, but yeah, so it was like, there was stagnation in my body, right? Being bedridden, my hip wasn't very mobile, and now it's getting more loose and more mobile, right? So there's not as much stagnation in that energy. And this goes back to Chinese medicine, where the energy flow, the qi and everything that they talk about, it needs to flow. And my qi wasn't flowing because my hips were locked up from trauma and stress and everything. And you know what's so funny? When I think people comment on me getting therapy is I have processed more trauma in non-therapy than they probably process with their therapist. Point A example is this asshole coming in being an asshole to me for no reason. Yeah, you need more therapy than I do. So for me, I've gone to therapy as a kid and I knew it never worked. It didn't work. Art, motorcycle riding, I'm very self-aware and everything. So it's more about I'm a very different person, connecting the dots differently. So for me, noticing that there's stagnation in my hips, and I was talking with ChatGPT, and I was like, what I've noticed is like when my hips hurt, of course my house gets stagnant. Like it's harder to clean because I'm more in bed, right? And so the stagnation happens and then the flies happen. And not always do they happen with the stagnation because it's mainly just dog hair that hangs around. But the chicken bones always attract them because I guess they like chicken bones. But for a while, I noticed that the stagnation in my hip kind of correlated to the stagnation in my home, which is a given because you can't clean very well and stuff. And like one of my biggest goals is like in the next few months to get a house cleaner. I really want help cleaning more thoroughly because my joints are still really bad. I should have gone at one point, but I learned that going to therapy gives you tools to work with. Tools to work. Yeah, therapy can. I never really benefited from therapy, to be honest. When you grow up in foster care, it's mandatory that you go to therapy, and I never really benefited from it. It never helped me. The most help that has happened for me is me turning inward, meditating, and fixing my own problems instead of relying on someone else to tell me how to fix them. Because from there, to me, how I see it is you're not going to learn how to fix your own problems in the future because you're relying on someone to tell you the answer or how to address it. So you know what's best on how to address something. When you're venting to your therapist about how shitty your boyfriend or girlfriend is, you deep down know what the right move is. You just want someone to validate that. So learn to validate yourself. I don't need external validation, never have. That's why I look the way I do. That's why I do what I do. Because I don't need people to approve of me. I will do what I want and it's gonna be that way. You're gonna take it or leave it. If you don't want it, then don't be around me. On your issues, I was able to find my own set on work issues. Hell yeah. But that's where things have been slowly improving with the EFT tapping, and my joints are improving. And so like there's no more stagnation in my home. I'm able to clean and go about my activities better, like doing my bed instead. Like I would dread it because I knew it would hurt my joints and it'd be so scary. But the deep breathing mixed with the EFT tapping has completely changed my life around, completely. And it's why I want to do a segment on it, because if you want to be more financially stable, healthy, whatever you want, I think EFT tapping and deep breathing are going to be your answers. You don't have to practice Chinese medicine if you're not as sick as I am. But if you suffer from autoimmune issues, I would highly recommend Chinese medicine. And if you have an issue, like say you have fibromyalgia or, plantar fasciitis or something, look up on ChatGPT, hey, I have this, tell me the Chinese medicine protocol, and it'll tell you, it'll explain it, and you can go from there. It's really easy. I was more intimidated by it in the beginning, but it's very easy to learn. And so now I'm like, okay, like this feels good. Like for once I'm excited to pay rent. Why? I don't even have rent. But I know I'm going to make it by Wednesday. I don't know how, but I know I am. And so we're going to do the Jeep stream. I have my photo shoot tomorrow because I have new subs in my OnlyFans and they deserve some content. And now realizing like, yeah, I want my money to come through my OnlyFans and through other places, right? But the main source, I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. And so I might as well start leaning into doing photo shoots again more as much as I can while my health is. I'm not going to burn myself out. But that's where like things have completely shifted around for me. Like even so much as getting my bed done, instead of like sitting there dwelling on it, I just like went into my closet, cleaned up my closet, packed away my laundry to get ready to drop off next week, and got my new bed sheet and put it on and put the old one in the bag. That's that. And before that I would get anxious. I would almost get scared to do that, and I didn't know why. And ChatGPT has helped because helped me understood what executive dysfunction is and why the EFT tapping is helping and stuff like that. But that's one of those things where it's your subconscious. As I said, like 5% of us are conscious. Like 5%, like our consciousness is 5%. Our subconscious sympathetic nervous system is the 95%. That's what's driving our behaviors, right? And while we think we're confronting our subconscious, we're likely not, because it's so deep that it takes different ways to uncover it. And that's why we'll go through the EFT tapping next week, and I'll tell you guys who I use for an EFT tap practitioner. I'm not going to teach you guys all about it because I don't think I'm in the position to teach about it. I'm in the position to tell you how it's changed my life, but I don't know much about it, enough about it to be teaching it. And I think these people are certified coaches, so they can help you work through it. They have YouTube channels. As a matter of fact, if you want some homework for this weekend, think of something that you want to change in your life. Like if there's something you want to change, different job, better physique, less trauma coming through with your actions. Maybe you have that executive dysfunction or whatever the fuck it's called as well. Look up Demi EFT tapping. You can look her up on TikTok. You can look her up on YouTube. All right. Have a mindset of like what you want changed. And because for me, it's my health and my finances, right? And she's really changed my life in like the last 3 weeks. I can't wait till I'm walking, and I can't wait to make a video thanking her and showing like what a miracle worker she is. Like she's fucking Jesus, honestly. From hearing you talk about EFT, sounds really healing. I think so. And like I said, that was the first thing that got me noticing the deep breaths that I needed to start taking. Like I started EFT tapping because with my illness, like the doctors can't help. All these diets aren't helping. And you know what they say, when things aren't working, you got to go inward. You can't rely on those external things. Like diet is great, but it kind of like aids what's internal. So if your internal is disrupted, then your external is not really going to help to the maximum effect, right? So they call disease dis-ease in your body, and I know that's corny, but for a bit I was like, wow, that's fucking dumb. I was like, what the fuck? That's stupid. Shut up. I don't want to hear this woo-woo shit, But at a certain point, I'm like, oh, I don't have anything else to try. Let me just try it. It doesn't hurt. And all these people swear by it. People literally make huge livings off of being EFT tapping coaches. And I think there's a reason why, obviously. So I can't wait, because I really think like by next Friday, I might just be walking to my bathroom when I need to go bathroom. Because right now I kind of hop walk to my bathroom, so I don't put full weight on my left leg, but I can kind of like almost not hop on my right leg, if that makes sense. Because before I was like hopping on my right leg, and that hurt because my right ankle has arthritis in it too. So I can't hop too well on it. So it was like really difficult. But now I'm like kind of like hop walking to my bathroom. And I really think by next week I'll be like hobbling to my bathroom. While it's not hopping and it's not walking, it's an intermediate. But that's a significant difference from being able to only use a scooter to go to the bathroom. And I've been wearing underwear. Why is that significant? Because for a bit I couldn't even pull up my own underwear. So I've been like able to pull up my own underwear without even thinking about it, and that's nice. Hell yeah, that'll be good because you're closer to kicking some nuts, right? And I'm excited because I have so many things I can teach you guys cooking wise. I love cooking, and I can't wait for that to be a part of my Twitch content. And I think maybe we'll even have I'll have a third day of Twitch. Maybe it'll be Saturday. Like I'll do Friday nights, like how we are. And then I wanted to do Saturday mornings, but I think we'll do Sunday mornings for my morning podcast. Like the one that's kind of like the cartoon thing. Like I want it to feel like an adult version of waking up on the weekend morning, getting your bowl of cereal and listening to something great. So we're going to have a lot of like fun news, fun current events talked about. We'll explore some small bands and listen to their music so we can promote some, beginner bands and stuff like that. And we'll have a little Discord chat for like 45 minutes to an hour, just talking about whatever we want. Call in one by one, or we can have a group chat. So I think maybe Saturday when finally things are rolling around, it'll be our cooking day. Maybe it'll be my meal planning day. And